Okay. It's recording.
Nice.
Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy DJ J Steezy.
DJ Jedi.
Today's special guest on Triple Scoop ENT. We got Danny from the EazyDpodcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, Danny?
Oh, brother. You know what? I just wrapped up my fourth podcast. And just like all of them, they're all very special to me. But this one was particularly special because I had Rafa Gifted Garcia, our local guy from Imperial Valley and Mexicali, who fights in the UFC.
Oh, dope.
Nice.
So we wrapped that one up. We did it on Friday, and we went about an hour and a half, and it was a good interview, man. Good interview, and I just say it, but I was nervous, man. I even told him right before I hit record, I go, man, I'm nervous, man. he told me to calm down. He's like, relax, But it was fun. It was a fun time, and also happy Father's Day to you guys.
Yeah,
Right, you too,
Same
man.
to you, brother.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Can't forget that. Salud.
Salud.
Just to I'll drink to this one right
Yeah,
here.
I'll drink to that.
But yeah, man, just experiencing the beginning life of a podcaster.
Right.
I don't even feel comfortable calling myself that yet. I don't think I've earned and paid my, earned my stripes and paid my dues yet. Because I know you guys have been doing it for quite a while. But hopefully I'll get there. I'm trying to stay consistent. Trying to do at least once a week. You know what I mean? And
I actually wouldn't say that, man. You actually went in guns blazing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like every single week. It's just like, man, you're pushing and you're doing it, man. And I want to say thank you for letting us be your first interview.
oh, man.
And only interview so far.
Right? Yeah, it's just like
That's true, man.
we've
As long as
never
we've been doing it.
we've never been on that side of the spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always been us doing the interview.
Yeah.
But it was good. Just pretty much just sitting there and just shooting the shit with you, man. It was really fun.
And that's what I wanted to do, and it wasn't, I was trying to plan out my first, a guest I was going to have. And then one day I was like, hit him up. I go, hey, are you guys busy? Can
Right.
you guys, are you guys down to record? And he's like, yeah. You said, yeah, let's do it. It was just organic that way, and it worked out nice. We had a good time, and it was an experience for me.
Nice. I was catching some of your interviews. Trying to listen to them when I'm actually at work.
Yeah.
And it's just yeah, man. You have I say you have it. And it's just like
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
listening to you and listening to your guys that you have on, it's how sometimes you get bored and just like all right, you just put it to the side or go back to it,
Right.
But
I
yeah,
have
man,
no idea what you're talking about.
no, like what I mean is it's just like you listen to a podcast and then you're like, all right, and then you pause it. I'll go back to it later.
Right.
And
right.
it's just
Yeah.
like, no, man, I've listened to your I say listen because I'm at work, and I just have it on.
Yeah, I think you're referring to like the engagement. You're really engaged into the conversation.
Yeah. So and like I said, you're doing it, man, and it's good to see other people in the valley, doing their own podcast.
And guys, check out his podcast. He was nice enough to get his shirts. That kind of just went over my head. I was just kind of like, what the hell? We get gifts? Holy shit. We've been doing, how long we been doing this?
What, 4 years?
We get gifts? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Why not? You know what I mean? It was just something that I got so many ideas rattling around inside my head, bro, that sometimes it's hard for me to get them out there. And I got so much going on up in there is that, I'll miss some things.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was one of the things I was like, what can I do to kind of, show gratitude for somebody taking the time to come out, and just, sharing the space.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For our viewers that are getting to know you right now, let them know what type of podcast you have or who's welcome to come on.
Pretty much it's just a general podcast. Like I get asked that question quite a bit. Like, what are you going to cover? What are you going to talk about? And I'm like, well, what do you want to talk about? What does anybody want to talk about? I'll talk about anything, especially if it's interesting. You know what I mean? I like to I like to hear stories. I like to hear like the beginnings of something, the origins of something. you know,
Right.
how people got started, you know, whatever it is, you know, if you're, you know, a guy who learned how to play the guitar and you're self-taught, like how did that happen? What motivated you? And what started that? And how did you learn? And can anybody learn that? You know, things like that. You know what I mean? Especially like you guys DJing. I find that fascinating how you guys are making the beats and blending music and all that. And the day that I sat right here with you guys, I was just in awe. Like, man, like these guys are artists, man. These guys are creating something. You know, you're taking stuff that's out there and you're blending it together and you're making people move and feel good, you know. And I felt good just sitting there, man. You know,
Right.
it made me feel good, you know. And I was like, and I think that you guys as artists, I think that's what the goal is to get a reaction and make people feel good in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. That's
Who's
how
your PR? I want to know. I want to hire him.
no, bro. It's just like I said, bro. I got a lot of things rattling in there, and you know, and that's how I see things. You know, I mean, I guess I see things from a different light. I guess, you know, I don't know.
I think that's when you know you're made for this. When you have things rattling in your head and you're like, you have ideas,
Yeah,
and you know we have ideas that going almost 3 years back, and it's just like that we still want to do.
yeah.
You know, it's just because you're constantly thinking, it's like, okay, what can we do next? Or
Mhm.
should we do this? Should we do that? You know, it's because it's what
Is it legal? I'm just
right?
Are we gonna get in trouble?
So it's just like I think your mind is always constantly going. You know, it's like there's times I'm sitting there with my wife and it's just like I zone out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking it's just like, okay, or when it comes to DJing, it's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It's like in my head I'm like, you know what, if I mix this beat, with the vocals of this track,
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
my mind is always I'm there, but my mind is always somewhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think, like I said, being in this type of business, this industry, from podcasting to DJing, your mind is always, what am I going to do next?
Uh-huh.
You want to share a little bit of your background to let the viewers know, like, what got you into this, like, entertainment in general?
Oh man, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I mean a lot, all throughout my day, and where I work, I'm fortunate to have that time I can listen while I'm working, and I started with that. That kind of gave me some inspiration. I was like, man, I find this real interesting. I looked at podcasting like almost we were not necessarily taking a step back, but like, what would you call when back in the day when you didn't have television, you had a radio, or no, further back than that, what did you have before radio? You just had families kicking back, maybe in front of a fire or in the living room, and just talking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, all you needed was a microphone back then, and you had a podcast. And that's how I looked at this. Like, wow, like we're almost going back to something that was pure at the time.
Right.
Where you didn't have television, you didn't have this distracting. You just had people engaging in a conversation, talking about whatever, talking about how the day went, talking about how, what's next, for tomorrow, what's the plans for tomorrow, stuff like that. And that's how I looked at podcasting. I found it very interesting. Like, wow, we're almost kind of going back to that, to the way it used to be, before television or radio or anything like that.
Or even before Google.
Google.
Get to share stories.
Yeah. So then, I was like, you know what, I would like to do that, and I started listening to all these different podcasts, whether it was sports, politics, which I really don't like too much. Comedy is always like, I love that. I love to listen to comedy, have comedians on podcasts. Like I find them, very, their stories, that they tell,
right.
I think it's pretty cool. But as far as my background in that's where that started, and as far as on the entertainment, I never really did, I can't really say I've done anything entertaining. I've done, I guess you could kind of say that I've been in the entertainment industry as far as like in sports, because like my refereeing background,
right.
and boxing and MMA, and I mean, that's part of entertainment, and I guess, I've been part of that.
Shine a little bit more light on the refereeing. What do you mean?
Well, like I started refereeing. Oh gosh, man, I can't even remember exactly what year, but it's been probably maybe 15 years ago when I started. I started working out with a group of guys here in the Valley that were MMA fighters and boxers and wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys and stuff. I started with them just so I could kind of, get in shape and, because I was about 270 pounds at the time. So I was like really out of shape. But I've always loved combat sports. I love football. I love wrestling. I love boxing. Yeah. I did some wrestling. Just moved around in the boxing ring. I never boxed, but I did help, train boxers and basically be a punching bag for these guys. You know what I'm saying? But you learn a lot. You learn quite a bit. You know what I mean? So I started with that, and then with the wrestling, I wrestled as a kid and stuff, and had a blast. Had my kids through wrestling, and so you pick up a lot of things. You see, different positions and different things that are done right and done wrong. You know what I mean? In the combat sports, and so. I just started with that little by little, putting in my time, putting in my mat time, the ring time, the bag work, movements, all that stuff. I started to get more, familiar with the sport, and as we were progressing, our team was getting better, we were getting better. I started out in Heber working with a group of guys out of a garage, and shout out to Jerry Salazar. He was the head coach for, he called it the Warriors Den back then. Nice. And this was in Heber, so we started there. But you had other groups. You had other I guess you could call them teams or groups or whatever. But we were all, pretty much acquainted. You had the Holtville Takedown Club in Holtville. That was Coach Eladio Castro. You had Ivy Combat Grappling, and you had a couple coaches. You had Ulises Cortez, you had Johnny Torres, Danny Torres. They were the main coaches that. You had guys from Calexico, but they would come work out with us. Everybody kind of shared mat time and sparring time. You had guys in Brawley that would come out. So then as things, were moving along, we all got kind of together and we became Team United. So we all started working out also in Heber at the old Heber boxing club that they had there. And then we spent some time there, and then we went to the over on 4th Street in El Centro. They called the Army, but the National Guard, that building, they actually let us use that building for a while, and that was kind of cool. So as far as on the refereeing, I remember we were getting ready, getting some fighters ready to go fight in Ensenada. And so, we're getting ready to go and everything. And I think it was like 3 days before the event, one of our head coaches, which is Ulises Cortez, I was talking with him. I was like, hey, do we have everything ready, all the logistics, where we're going to stay, the vehicles we're going to take and all that? Because it was, we try to be organized, right? Because we had a couple of fighters fighting over there. And he's like, oh, yeah, we're all set. We're going to be there at this time. We're going to check in. And, oh, by the way, you're going to referee that event. And I was like.
Is that nerve-wracking?
Yeah, I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He goes, they needed a referee. He goes, they asked me if I knew anybody, and I told them you. And I'm like, bro, I've never refereed an event before, And he's like, Danny, you know what? He goes, you've been around this game already for quite a while. Because we had already put in, I put in some time. By that time, I had already dropped down to about 195 pounds. So I went from 270 down to 195. And he's like, you're ready. He goes, you're ready to do this. And I'm like, I go, no, I'm not. He goes, trust me, you are. He goes, you've been around it. You put in your mat time. You know positions. You know the rules already. You've been with us to many fights. You've cornered guys already. You're ready. So I was like, all right, let's do it, So I was like, I had no clue what I was doing as far as like, hey, how do I dress or anything like that. It's like, you could find pictures of me, bro, and I'm wearing like one of those, I went to Big Five and bought the basketball referee shirts.
I'll say Foot Locker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Foot Locker. Yeah, the Foot Locker jersey. That's what I wore, And I was like, hey, you know what? I don't know. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to wear this. and it was good. I did just about all the fights except for the main event. The only reason I didn't do them, I opted out of that because I wanted to be in the corner of our guy, you know. So Eladio Castro, he took the main event because Juan Romo, which is Veneno, he fought in that one in the main event against a guy named Monstro, you know, and he finished him like, man, I'm gonna say less than a minute in the fight.
Damn, those are some scary names.
Yeah,
too,
yeah, Monstro, yeah,
Monstro,
yeah,
Veneno. Like,
yeah. The guy was like the guy was no joke. He's definitely legit. He was up and coming, and you know he was you know, you didn't want to get in there. Not anybody want to get in there, you know. But luckily we already had one guy that had a win over him, that had a knockout over him. Like I'm gonna say like I think it was like the first punch. And what was funny, the guy who Eladio, the one that refereed the main event, he's the one who fought him, you know. So Eladio was like, I don't think they're gonna let me referee this fight. I go, why not? He goes, because I've already fought him, you know. And I'm like, you know, Eladio, you're a stand-up dude. You know what I mean? I think it'll be fine. I don't think there's gonna be an issue. If there is, then I'll referee that fight. But I really want to be in the corner.
I thought you were going to say, then I'll get him.
No. So then...
not that monster.
So Juan went in there, Veneno went in there, and he went in there and took care of business, man.
Damn.
Yeah. They slugged it out. I know Monstro he got a punch in, and kind of he did drop Juan. He gets up, and, you know, he made him pay for it. You know, and it was a good quick fight. You know what I mean? And it was an experience, man. It was my first one. This was in Ensenada, and I was like, wow, like, hey, you know what? I think I want to keep doing this. You know, I want to keep doing it for a while. You know, and that's how I started. And then, you know, time went by. I did some events in Mexicali. I started getting hit up if I want to do some boxing events, which, you know, those are two different animals. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know. I don't know which one's harder. I know they both make me nervous as hell, you know. But there's just different rules, you know. Like you got the standing 8 count, you know. You gotta know like in MMA, like when you stop the fight, that's it. It's done. You know. In boxing, it could be done as well, but you also have to use your better judgment. Like, is he really out, or are you going to give him that count?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, usually you give him that count, you give him that opportunity. But in MMA, you got submissions. You know, you got everything. You got everything. You got verbal tap outs that you got to listen to. You know, I mean, if guy's in a certain position that he's gonna like, you have to be able to watch and see if he does tap. You know, I had one event. It was Caesar Dirty Boy Avila. Shout out to him, and Luis Magana. They fought over there. And it was kind of one of those rival things, you know. It was gym versus gym, you know. And I think Luis fought out of Ichinoue Dojo in Mexicali, which they're awesome gym. They got some really good dudes out there, really good guys, good fighters, man. And so he fought him, and it was, I believe, Caesar was defending his belt, you know, for that promotion. I can't remember what the promotion was at the time, but he was defending his belt, and it was a good scrap, man. They went at it, and Caesar got him in he got him in a wrestling move. The guy got behind him, and I believe Caesar hit a switch. It's like a real nice slide around, and he takes his back. So he gets him. Somehow he wraps his legs around him. Caesar ends up on the bottom, so he got him in an arm triangle, okay? So he has him in an arm triangle, transitions to like an arm bar at the same time, and he's just dropping elbows on him because this kid's not tapping. He's not tapping, man, and Caesar's just dropping elbows. And I'm like, I counted 20 elbows that kid took. And I'm looking at his eyes, and he's not tapping, and he's just taking these hits. So I'm looking at his eyes. I'm like, okay, I think he's going to be done. So I let him take 5 more. I wanted to see if he was really going to tap because it was a title fight. You know what I mean? So I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And so when I saw that he wasn't responding, his eyes were just wide open like they were going to pop out of his head because that's how tight it was. I ended up stopping the fight. And so when I stopped it, their corner, they lost it, and he popped up like, what the heck? And I was like,
You're not fighting back.
yeah, it's like, you were done. You were compromised. Like,
Right.
I can't let this go any further. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were not going to get out of this, and there was no sense to let them finish the round because I think there was still probably almost 2 minutes left in the round. I'm going, am I going to let them take that much damage? And my main job as a referee is to protect the fighters.
I think that's hard, man. Because it's like
It's not
because
easy.
you got to use your judgment. Like you
Uh-huh,
said, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like if they're not responding and not fighting back, it's just like, man,
it would be canceled.
yeah,
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, the crazy thing is like how you said you were at 270 and you happened to lose all that weight and you were able to ref on the spot. Like you were pretty good to jump in there, see what's going on. Imagine one of us trying to do that shit. Are you okay? Are you okay? Like, man, just give me I'll take the ring card.
That was actually one of the reasons why I had stopped wrestling because I actually I was getting in shape and I really wanted to know what it was like to make that walk, meaning to get in the ring and have a match, even if I had one, just to say that I did it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm in there training with these guys.
Yeah.
And I see what they're going through. I see the weight cuts. I see the sacrifice they're doing. And I'm right there doing it with them, but I don't have a fight coming up. You know what I mean? So I had talked to Ulises because he was our head coach, and I told him, hey, I want to do this. He goes, you know what? He goes, you're in between. You're a tweener right now. He goes, next weight class will be 185. Can you make 185? I go, hell no. I go, not for a while. And he goes, you know what? If you get down to 190 pounds, I'll get you a fight at a catch weight, 5 pounds. That'll be good. And I was like, let's do it. So I was working on my weight. I was trying to get down there. So I got down to 194, was the closest I ever got. And I remember it was just me and like 3 other guys were rolling around. One of them was Veneno, was Juan, and then his brother, may he rest in peace, Luis Aguilar. And we were rolling around, doing some jiu-jitsu. And these are big dudes, they're bigger than me. You know what I mean? They're big guys, strong dudes. You know what I mean? These guys are animals. And I got rolled over, got caught in an armbar. I didn't tap fast enough. He pulled it, and something happened in my shoulder. So then we kept going, and then his brother, and he got me on the other shoulder, same way. And I was like, damn it, And like 2 weeks later, like I wasn't feeling right. There's something going on with my shoulders. And so anytime I moved around, I was in a lot of pain. I never got it checked out or anything like that. So I just kind of took it easy, stopped rolling around so much, and little by little, started getting lazy and all that, and and started losing my cardio and all that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna hold off for a while, and you know how it is, with work and family, things happen, and I never got to make that walk, But I still stood in okay shape, good enough shape to referee. But there was a time there where there wasn't any events that we were that was happening, any local events, and so I hadn't refereed for a while. So when I did finally get out there again, I was a little out of shape. Actually, I was a lot out of shape because I was getting winded out there. My reaction time wasn't what it was. You know what I mean? Like to me, I felt like I was doing a disservice to the fighters and to the commission and to the promoters, me being out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, as a referee, from my perspective, you have to be in shape. You have to be mentally focused. You have to be ready. You know what I mean? Because these guys, like, I take that serious, that if something happens, that's going to be on me. You know what I mean? And, whatever, I mean, you have to make your judgment calls out there. And, some people might not like a certain stoppage or anything like that, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's for the fighter's safety. I'd rather stop a fight early, or even if they didn't like my decision, but I want this guy to be able to go home later and train and be able to come back and fight again, But yeah, that was one of the reasons I had stopped. And then last year, we were getting hit with COVID and all that stuff, and I started seeing a lot of things happening with a certain demographic that was getting really hit hard with COVID. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, you know what? I gotta really start taking care of myself, you know, because if I get hit, who knows how it's gonna turn out? You know what I mean? I'm the sole provider for my family and everything. So I started watching what I was eating, and I started working out a little bit more, and staying away from the carbs, especially like the tortillas, the breads, and all that. You know us, bro. We're Mexican. We love tortillas, bro. You know, you know what I'm saying? And so I cut a bunch of that stuff out, and yeah, you know, started to notice a difference, and I started to notice that when I tie my shoes, I wasn't getting winded anymore, you know, and sure enough, when I started feeling better, I ended up getting COVID. You know, like 2 weeks like after I got the vaccination. You know, I'm not saying that there's anything to it, but I just found it kind of weird that I went all this time, like over a year, no problem, because of where I work. I'm kind of exposed to a lot of that stuff, and it was like, oh, I'm good, you know. And I even cut out my my rock stars. I was drinking rock stars and Monsters.
That's where you went wrong.
Yeah, no, check this out. So a lot of my coworkers were coming down with COVID, right? And I was like, well, I don't know. But I would tell them, I don't know if there's anything to it, but I drink one of these a day. You know what I'm saying? Or every 2 days. And I still haven't gotten COVID. You know? And they're like, yeah, right. That has nothing to do with it. All right, whatever. Well, my theory went out the window when I ended up getting COVID like 2 weeks after the vaccine. You know what I mean? Right. But yeah. But honestly, I think if I wouldn't have started taking care of myself, who knows how it would have hit me? Yeah, honestly, I don't know how it would have hit me, because I did feel like crap for the first 3 days. I did have the body aches, but not like how other people had experienced it. Yeah. I did have a fever, not that bad. I think one night I had like the shivers and stuff, but it wasn't as bad as some other people got. You know, thank God. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I honestly do believe that was part of it, that I just started to take care of myself at the right time. You know what I mean? Because I was already like maybe 2 months into it, probably. You know,
I think I was the opposite. I got hit with COVID too, and mine was weird. I got hit in stages. So like one night I had fever. Yeah, that's how it started. Yeah, and then next morning I felt fine. I was just like, maybe I just had a fever. Then, you know. And I was just like, and then I was like, oh, I said, no, you better go get tested. And I got tested and it came out positive. So I go home. And I'm fine. I feel perfectly fine. And then my throat starts to hurt. And then after my throat, I started coughing. You know, it was just like, it was like one day this, one day that, one day that. Yeah. And then I got hit with fever again. You know, so it was just like.
You think it hit you more mentally, and then that's what kind of just like.
No, because everything? You know what? Because I think a mental state does play a big part. Yeah. And I think, you know, it's like, I was like, no, there's no way this shit's gonna beat me. Yeah, I'm gonna beat it. Yeah, you know. Yeah. And I think, pause. Yeah, you know, it's like there's no way, you know. And I said I'm not gonna, you know. And I think when you psych yourself out and you know, and or you put yourself, oh, you know what, oh, I'm sick with COVID. Oh, you know, I think your mental takes a big. I
believe in that. I believe in that. Yeah, because you gotta actually think like, no, I'm not gonna let this thing win. Yeah, you know what I mean. And that's like, and I said that to myself. If I ever get it, I'm gonna fight it wherever I can. I'm gonna make sure that you know what, I'm not leaving my family. Yeah, it's not gonna take me. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I was already mentally prepared. Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So you know, I took the mental approach, and I was like, you know what, it's not gonna beat me, and you know You know, thank God that, you know, I'm still here. Yeah. You know, and like I said, it did hit me pretty bad, but not to the extreme. Yeah. You know, and then I look back and it's like, maybe that was my mental state too. It's like, I'm not gonna let it take me there. Yeah. You know, so yeah, now I'm, you know, I'm down 50 pounds. Nice. You know, so, you know, I decided to, you know, it's like there has to be a point when you say enough is enough. You know, and it's just like same thing. Yes. Winded tying my shoes, winded putting on my socks. There you go, bro. You know, and it's just like, you know what? I can't.
Is that what that is?
Oh, okay. So what are you doing for like? What kind of diet are you doing? What are you watching?
I'm doing 6 meals a day.
Okay, there you go.
Small little increments.
Exactly.
And then dinner time. Yeah, I'll have what you call as a lean and green. You know, so I'll have, 6 ounces of chicken with 2 cups of vegetables.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing, and
that's funny because you said ounce of green. I was like, how much is he smoking?
Shit!
Broccoli or cauliflower, or asparagus,
Broccoli Kush.
So right, yeah. So I started doing that, and I feel a lot better. 50 pounds is 50. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, that'll make a big difference.
It's another person, bro.
Yeah,
it's another person you're carrying around. Look at it that way.
And I'll say it on the air. I'm a big dude. You know what I mean?
We all are, bro.
It scared me.
Yeah.
I weighed in at 400 pounds, man. I weighed in at 400 pounds, and that scared the shit out of me. It's just like, because it's like you go with every delivery, like, oh, I'm not that big. I'm not that big.
Right.
And then finally you're like, when I put myself on the scale, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was like, no. I said, I can't. I can't go on like this no more. So I decided to make that change, and like I said, now I'm 50 pounds down, man. And I'm still at it. I'm still at it.
Oh yeah, dude. And then you're motivating yourself, and especially like when you start noticing like your clothes.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh snap! I go, I fit in this. And it's funny because I had did a boxing event for Fernie Lara at Sparta Boxing. It was a fundraiser event, and I had already dropped some weight, so I felt good. I was still nervous, because I was like, man, I don't know how my body's gonna respond moving around there. So I went out there and I felt great. I was like, yeah, I even posted it and everything because I was proud of myself. And then I got a call from the commissioner in Mexicali. You got the boxing commission, you got the lucha libre commission, and then you got the Comisión de Artes Marciales Mixtas. So it's like they call it the CAM or something like that. And he messaged me, and he actually messaged Juan, because Juan also Juan Romo actually he referees as well. And then he goes, hey, there's an event coming up. I was wondering if you guys can be there. So I took it as like, okay, he wants us there, like, just to be there, because we hadn't had an event in a long time. So then I messaged them separately, and I'm like, hey, I go, do you need referees? Is that what's going on? Because, it's hard for me to read Spanish, you know what I mean? And translate it correctly, And I messaged him in English, and he's like,
Cuatro.
Yeah, cuatro. And he was like, actually, yeah. He goes, I need you guys to referee. And I was like, okay. He goes, are you down for it? I go, yeah, I'm good. He goes, okay, And then I went, and actually I have the official shirt that they had made for me down there, and it has their stamp or whatever you want to call it, their logo. And I know I had it somewhere in my closet. And the last time I tried it on, it wouldn't fit. I put it on, and it was like super tight, bro. And I was like, I actually went and had another one made, with the same logo and everything. And that one was like a 2X. And I'm like, well, I go, let me see if this one fits me now. So, bro, I threw that sucker on, and it was like, oh, damn, it fits, And so I snapped a picture, and I said, hey, look what I found in my closet. And he's like, oh, that's perfect, So I used my original official shirt,
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna buy smaller shirts and get motivated.
I mean, it's only from an XL to a 2X, but it is a difference.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference because it fit me loose. I was like, dude, I go, the last time I tried this thing on, they felt me like a sports bra, bro. It was big, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I was happy, Yeah. So then I was like, all right, cool. I got even more motivated for this event coming up. And, I mean, we're all busy with our lives and work and stuff. So I would see that he would post stuff, and the promoter would post stuff. And then I think it was like the day of, I saw something there in Spanish, Canal 66 and all that. And I'm like, so I messaged them. I go, hey, is this going to be televised? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, this is going to be on TV. Oh, man, I shouldn't even have asked him that because I even got more nervous, bro. Because I was like, because he even told me, he goes, no, you got the main event as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, man. So it was 3 referees. It was Julio Araña Jr. He's an awesome referee. He does a lot of events. I think that's what he does, man, because he's always posting pictures and stuff. And in fact, I think he was just here this last weekend doing a boxing event in Mexicali. So he was there. He did the first part of the event, and then me and Veneno, we switched back and forth, you know. So he did one, I did one, and it was back and forth, and it was an awesome event, man. It was, I said, it was televised. It was a big promotion. It was FFC. I think it's stands for Fights Factory Championship, I think it's called. I always reverse them, the two F's. Anyways, it's really good fighters on that card. It was exciting. It was a very well promoted event. Like the whole production.
I'm still tripping that he was on TV.
Yeah,
like, I would have been like trying to. Come on. Yeah, stop the fight. No, he's out. He's out.
Anytime I was able to get out of the ring, I'd get out of the ring. You know what I mean? Because I just, didn't want to be right there for that. But it was a good event, man. Good experience, and I actually felt good. I finally felt like I was back to where I needed to be.
Yeah.
And then, he hit me up. He goes, "Hey, the next one, you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "I feel good, man. I feel good, and I'll be even more prepared for the next one." And I had a blast, man. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get back in there, And then I know Fernando Lara's going to have another boxing event. I think he said in October or November he'll be having another one, and I think FFC is having another one in August, and I believe I'm going to be refereeing that event as well. Whoa. So I don't know where the lineup's going to be, where they're going to have me, but wherever they got me, I'm good. Nice. But I love the sport, man.
What about getting some of the fighters interview on your podcast?
I'm going to try to. The only thing that I don't know, since the promotion is from across the border, I don't know if any of them will come away. I don't know the who's on the fight card, but if I can reach out to any of them that are able to come over, I'll definitely do it.
Would you be able to do the because I know we struggled a little bit. Okay, a lot of bit. When we had interviews done majority in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like I said, very pocho.
Yeah.
Very. But we tried.
It's rough, man. It's rough trying to carry on a conversation in Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean, we speak Spanglish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we speak. We do that shit all day. You know what I'm saying? But the Spanish part, I'm like, oh man, it can be rough. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe I give it a try, get through it. I don't know if I could do it, but I'll give it a try. Shit, I'll try anything once.
Selena did it.
Hey man, I got my Spanish from Encino Man. Remember Encino Man? The caveman, the
Whizzing the juice.
Whizzing the juice, when he's like el queso or something. Like that. He's like, ¿Dónde está el sanitario?
Oh man,
el queso is old and moldy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, man. But like you said, to carry a conversation in full Spanish is just. Yeah, it's not for us.
It's a different animal.
I feel like Canelo trying to answer in English.
Right? Hey, but it has been getting better. His English has been getting a little bit better.
Yeah, but you say the wrong word, he might take it wrong and punch you.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. You fight nobody. But yeah, man.
Yeah, his English, definitely better than my Spanish, probably. Wow.
So, who else do you have lined up for your podcast?
You know what? This week, I'm not sure, bro. I got some ideas out there, but who knows? I might just do something like this. I might, call up a friend.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing?
Nothing.
All right.
What does your family think of you doing this? Because I know ours probably had no idea. What the fuck are you doing? Like, who wants to talk to you?
Yeah. They know I had been talking about it for a while. And then my son, my 12-year-old, he's into, gaming and stuff. And he was always talking about, doing something on Twitch. And I'm like, what the hell is Twitch? You got a Twitch? What's going on? He's like, no, Dad, I could stream on Twitch while I'm playing my video games. And so he started kind of,
breaking it down.
Yeah, breaking it down a little bit. So I go, okay, well, what about podcasting? And he goes, yeah, that's cool too. He goes, you can stream and all this. So then we kind of had like a little bit of a common ground right there. So I started asking him questions as well. Like, well, what do you need like this? I was like, well, I don't know, but I'll look it up for you, So then when I hooked up with you, then, you guys started telling me like, hey, give me some advice and tips on what to use and what not to use and, what to not to do and stuff like that. That's where it was kind of, everything was like coming together. Right. I was getting advice from different sources. And I was like, okay, I go, I think I could do this. I go, hey guys, I go, what do you think? I go, you think we should try a podcast? And they were all for it. They're like, yeah, Dad, you know what? But you're gonna need like this kind of mic, and you got a tripod in the closet. You can use that. Like, they're trying to piece everything
and
together.
You gotta change your sound card on your computer.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you hook up the right camera.
Yeah,
It's a headache, right?
Oh, bro.
Make sure you record an MP4. And
oh my
yeah,
goodness.
man, it's just
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I'm still, like I said, I'm like still barely basic, bro. Because I don't know if you guys notice, I don't do no editing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I don't want to mess up the video. So, like I tell my guests, you know what? However it comes out, that's how I'm gonna put it out there. We'll try to make it as best as possible. Yeah. But if I go, once we're done, and you guys take off, whatever, my kid comes in there and he'll go in there and he'll start to upload it. And like, now you got it down for like maybe 20 minutes after we're done, it's already uploaded.
Nice.
So cool. That's because I don't have to do no editing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm kind of cheating the.
No, it's all good. That's what we were going for, because sometimes editing would take us like a day, and then just to render the video, for those that don't know what the rendering is, it's like making it into a format that you can upload to.
Yeah.
That would take an extra 4 to 5 hours, and I was like, nah, no.
Like, I think like when we started, Jedi would like add all kinds of different animation and
shut up. We never put that one out.
Yeah, I know, man. It was
one of our first interviews. That was a shit.
It was hilarious.
I never put it up.
But yeah,
she would stop talking to us.
Right? And the thing is, now it's just, almost pretty much just basic, triple Scooby and T. And
we try to simplify it as much as we could.
Yeah, so, and I think sometimes simple's the best way.
Right.
You get the content out there way faster.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I looked at it. You know what? I'm just going to keep it stupid simple and just put it out there. You know, and however it comes out, however it looks, I would like the picture quality to be better, which, I am going to be working on that. I do want to change my camera setup because I like how you guys have it off your phones. I think it's better than the cameras that I'm using because I'm using 2 camcorders. And
I think maybe it's just the settings and the lighting.
And the lighting, right? Yeah. So there's still stuff I'm going to play with.
Yeah.
And get that going.
And you can go back to ours. Like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. When you could see the difference, like, from when we started.
Like even the first ones we actually did off a GoPro. And the GoPro, I believe, can do 2K at the time. Mm-hmm. But what happens when you record with the GoPro, the battery will last you as long as the quality. So let's say I do a 1080, which is what's going to be out with us.
Yeah.
The camera will last you a good 4 hours.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do 2K, it's going to last you about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, the quality took up that much of the battery.
Wow.
So it's like, it was very hard, very hard. Us trying to figure that out at the time. Sometimes we had video and no audio at the end of the interview. And we're like, shit, what do we do? Just tell them and messed up. Didn't come out.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot of, it's a learning and what do you call it?
It's a learning experience.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And just as you keep doing it, you keep progressing.
Yeah.
I think the first couple interviews that we did, man, our intro. How many takes did it take us?
We'll put that out later.
I don't know how many times I fumbled, man. And it's just
not just the interviews. Remember the sports we tried to cover?
Because we
Denver Lions.
Because we were originally going to do, cover sports and cover the scores like football season and cover the local sports also,
Yeah.
And like we had a whole plan. One time I was covering.
Out the window.
I was covering, what was it? I was covering
football.
Yeah, but who was I covering? It was just
what team?
Was it playoffs?
Oh, that's
I
right.
believe it was the playoffs.
Yeah,
one of the playoffs. I forgot
what
year.
I said
You said Denver Lions.
Denver Lions. And I was like, wait a minute.
He was so serious.
It's just like. You look back at it and you just laugh, you know. Yeah, so it's just like I said, it's a learning experience.
Don't feel bad, bro. There's a podcaster that I listen to, and they're big. It's a big podcast, and one of the hosts, he dude, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose for some of the stuff that he fumbles on his words. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening like, no, it's this, idiot. You know what I mean? Like, get your shit together. You know, it's like, but he does it all the time. So I'm starting to wonder, like,
maybe it's to engage with.
Yeah, I go, is he trolling? I go,
yes.
maybe he's trolling. Maybe he's just playing the part. I go, well, either way, if he did, he got me. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking, like, dude, like, stop fumbling your words. Like you said, like something like that. Like, you know, the Denver Lions. That's a perfect example. That's kind of the stuff that this dude fumbles his stuff on. I'm like, no, dude, that's not it. You know. Or if he's talking some MMA, he'll get some of the fighters' names wrong. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, dude. Like,
as long as he doesn't say like the Brawley Spartans, then you won't be canceled. Until then,
the Imperial Hornets.
Oh man, funny story. And I'm not gonna put her name out there because it was just a story that she had told me.
Do it.
No.
She was her. You know what? If they ever see this, they're gonna know who I'm talking about. But her sister apparently was a really good. These two sisters, really pretty girls. They when they were in high school, one of them was a cheerleader, right? So really good cheerleader. I guess she even went and tried out for the San Diego Chargers at the time.
Oh shit!
Unfortunately, she didn't make it, but she was that good. Okay, so her older sister went out for the cheerleading team, right? So she went out there to do a cheer, and I think they went to Southwest. Okay, yeah, I think they went to Southwest. She went out there. She did her cheer, and she ended it with "Go Spartans," you know. And they're like, "You're at Southwest." They're like, wow. Oh, and I go, "Well, did she make it?" They're like, "Nope, she didn't make it." Yeah. So
that sucks.
Yeah. So shout out to those girls. You know, they're you know old friends. Yeah. But like, I'm not gonna say their names because if they ever hear this, they're gonna kill me. You know?
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah,
we'll just bring them on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Man.
But yeah, you know, it happens, man. You know, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna end up doing it, you know, sooner than later. Probably, I'm gonna fumble something.
Just hit me up, man. I'll edit it, or make it worse.
Make it worse.
We'll repeat the mess.
If you guys have all those clips, you guys should put something. Just clip all those like the bloopers.
The bloopers.
Yeah,
Jesus.
put them out there. Why not? You know, I think they'll be funny. You know? I don't know. Sometimes you got to embrace that.
I fumbled a lot of shit, man. Was that don't do the what?
Don't do the time if you can't do the crime.
Yeah.
I flipped it. I said, don't do the time if you can't do the crime.
I was just like, what? I said, yeah, I said it right. And he repeated exactly what he said. Like,
yeah, man.
Nah, bro, it's the other way.
Oh, that's funny. You know, my dad used to do that a lot growing up, you know, and I'd be like, I was a little kid just listening to my dad, and I wouldn't even correct him. I'm like, he's trying. He's trying. You know?
If you correct him, you probably get slapped.
Yeah, no. My dad is awesome, but sometimes he'd be telling a story, and I'm like, okay, Dad, you got those two words mixed up.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah. So, but as far as the next guest, bro, I'm thinking, like I said, I don't have anything really lined up, but now that I was thinking about it, have you guys ever heard of Y&D? Young and Different? Yeah, they have a YouTube channel. They're local guys.
Oh, you know what? I did see you post about them.
Yes.
And
Who are they? Or where are they from?
They're from here, from the Imperial Valley. I think probably mainly from El Centro.
You got a decent following on YouTube, man.
Bro, they are funny, bro. I don't know what if they've posted anything just recent, because some of the stuff I was trying to catch up, because they've been out for a while, like over 2 years, you know. But they do have a following. The way they do their I don't know what you would call it, their the quality of their video, it's like top notch, man.
Like they do pranks and stuff like that.
They do some pranks, nothing crazy, nothing.
They're the one that did it at Walmart.
Yeah, they did some Walmart.
Yeah,
ones.
they did a Walmart one.
Yeah. You know, and in fact, one of them is Fernie Lata's son. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he mentioned it because actually Max, which is his son, he was sitting there and he was taking his own little video of it, taking pictures, I think, of the podcast. And he goes, "Oh yeah, my son, he has a YouTube channel. You know, you should check it out. It's called Y&D." And I was like, "Oh, okay." You know, he goes, "Yeah, you know, they do pranks and stuff." He kind of downplayed it. He downplayed it a lot. So when I went to go look, I was like, "What the heck? These guys are good." Yeah. You know, I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "You know what? I want to get these guys on." And I mean, you guys too. You guys should bring them on because I mean, cool. I don't know how often they're doing them. but the stuff they got out there is hilarious, bro. It's funny, and it's nothing malicious or anything like that. You know, some YouTubers, they take it a little too far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, but these guys that so far I haven't ran across one that's like that. Let's just put it that way. But so far they've all been pretty good. They're funny. They're real funny. They're very entertaining. You know, so you guys should check them out. You know, Y&D. You know, Young and Different. You know, check out their YouTube channel.
Yeah, I did. I saw you post it. I saw you share it and clicked on the link, and I was like, damn, they got a decent following.
Yeah.
On YouTube. So I was like, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if like like I said, I'm new to all this, but I noticed as I was watching their video, I was getting interrupted by ads. You know. And I don't know if that's something that is beneficial to them.
Well, yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah.
After so many subscribers, you can monetize.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I don't know if it's 2K that they have. Or,
I think they got more than 2K.
Or 20K. I want to say something in that range, I think.
Yeah, they're up there.
They definitely got a big following on YouTube. So
hopefully they're still doing it, because I think they got something going. You know, I think they have a good thing right there, and then I think they should keep plugging away at that, because it's entertaining, definitely entertaining. And my kid, like they didn't even know about it. They're like, well, one of them didn't. The other one was like, no, I haven't heard it. And so he got on there, and he was having a blast just watching them. You know, so, these guys are good. You know, yeah. But Walmart, I think it was at the mall. You know, stuff in the parking lot, like just, you know, it's funny. You know, they're young guys, but they're having a blast. And hey, man, as long as, you know, they're not hurting nobody, let them do their thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think they're doing very well. And I might go ahead and have, I don't know if I can have all of them on, because it's like a good group, right? Mm-hmm. It's like more than 4 or 5 guys all together. You know, maybe 6 guys. I don't have enough microphones, you know?
Right.
You know, but definitely want to have those guys on. You know, probably be hitting them up soon. You know,
cool.
And then maybe send them your way, or maybe you guys could have them on first. I don't know. But I could put you in contact. Well, you guys know Fernie. You guys could get through Fernie. Yeah. Yeah, and I think Max is on Facebook as well. Yeah.
Because we wanted to get, well, we had Fernie's boxer on, remember? Yahida. Yeah. And it's just like, we never put out the interview because it would have
been bad PR.
It would have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was like, we'd ask her questions and it was just like one-liners. And really short.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just didn't want, you know, like I said, you know, bad PR, you know, and just, you know, wanted to hype the video and, you know, put it out, but playing it back, we're like.
And I sat on it for a good minute, just as maybe, is it me? Am I, you know, but I was like, no, like, I think the family or friends might have felt a certain way just because of the answers.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, you know what? Nah, we don't want to make anyone look bad, or we don't also want to incriminate anyone.
Yeah.
So if we feel like this is bad,
yeah,
we won't put it out.
No, that's smart thinking. You know, you have to think in that way and just not throw anything out there.
And those are hard because they come, they, you know, they give their time, right? But at the same time, it's like we got to be thoughtful. Like this stays up forever. You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, you know, I had to think about too. Like, you know, I don't like to do, I mean, I'm not going to do anything scripted or anything like that. But in my mind, I will, you know, think of like, okay, what am I going to ask? And as I'm asking the questions, and usually like what I've been doing, and it helps me, like I said, I don't have nothing scripted. I don't have a guest like some questions like, here you go, this is what I'm going to ask you. Yeah. I don't do that. But what I like to do just for myself, so I won't forget, before the podcast, I'll sit there and I'll just write questions out, right? I'll just write out a bunch of questions, stuff that's coming in my head, and I'll put it out there. And that's what I do. But a lot of times I don't even ask those. You know, I might ask 1 or 2, but almost like a lot of them I'll miss, and it'll just, however the conversation's going, and that's where I'll take it.
But that's good. It's kind of like a backup, kind of like us. Like we have, like DJing, we have our go-to songs that are just there, just in case we can't think of something to throw at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's good that you have that.
I think I heard comedians do that too. Like when they're out there and they're doing a set, and if they just feel like, you know what, they're losing the crowd a little bit, that they'll pull something out of their hat, like their backup plan, their prime stuff, just to kind of get them back in again, and then they'll start again. you know, and I guess it's kind of the same type of deal, you know,
Yeah.
that we do, you know what I mean? You know, but a lot of times, like I said, I don't even ask all the questions that I have, you know, written down. Like I told Rafa afterwards, you know, I text him and I go, hey man, I go, we got to do this again. I go, there's so much stuff that I left on the table that I didn't ask you, you know, and he goes like, yeah, no problem. Cause I didn't want to keep him that long. I mean, you know, I did bring it down to an hour and a half, you know, as opposed from the 2 hours that I did before.
Oh man, we've had interviews to where I started doing it now, but like after like we're done, I'll let it record for a little bit longer because we'll get some fucking crazy shit afterwards. Like we forget to ask like a rapper, how'd you get that name? And it's like hilarious. And,
Oh, really?
Like, we'll have like
Oh,
shooting the
man.
shit because sometimes this is the first time we're meeting when we're, you know, doing the interviews.
Yeah.
So that after this is done, like they feel more relaxed. They feel more like, okay, I got to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they open up and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, and some things that we should be doing and we don't do is a media release form. You know, because
I was going to ask you guys about that.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure, like I said, I'm so new to this, dude. Like, do you guys recommend something like that?
Yes.
A release form?
Yeah.
Or especially, like, if we have a guest that's, you know, under 18, you know, like.
Well, that's one reason. And we actually had that one done
Yeah.
when we had the fighter,
Uh-huh.
just underage. But it's more like, let's say, okay, here's an example. Let's say back in the day we got Andy Reese to do an interview, and for whatever reason, his management was like, you know what, you need to take it off. He's making a name now.
Yeah.
Maybe he said something in the interview
Right.
that was like, not so much incriminating, but kind of like offensive.
Yeah. Well, especially nowadays, you got to be really careful
Right,
what
they
you
got to be
say.
almost perfect. But let's just say their team was like, "We're gonna take it down, or we're gonna sue you, cease and desist."
Yeah.
But if we had a contract saying, you know what, we put it out, we own the content, we filmed it, we recorded it, we did everything.
Right.
That's when the release would come in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was thinking of probably looking into something like that.
I'll get you a copy of the media release form because you know I have copies at my house and it's like we should have them because you know
You never know.
You never know.
exactly.
You know, and like so far, you know, everybody that you guys have had on or I've had on so far, I mean, you really don't have to worry about anything like that, but you never know. You know what I'm saying?
We had one. You know, he put it out, and the next morning it was like, "Where's the video?" And you're like, "Oh, so I had to take it down.
Wow.
Call me." You know, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Oh
you know,
man, and it, for us too, like a little frustrating. I mean, because this was one that wasn't done here with us. Like we went out there, set up.
Okay.
Like it took a long time editing, and it was two separate things that we did. And in the end, like the next day is like, you know what, can you please take off the interview because you know we don't want someone to look bad. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'm taking down both.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to have two things up.
Yeah, you
if,
might as well
you
just take them both
know,
down.
problems later on.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
no, it makes sense. But yeah, no, I'd appreciate that because I want to be able to have that. Just you know, because you never know, you know, and like we said, nowadays you got to be so careful, man, of what you say. You got to be so PC and all this, and it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating because
Yeah.
you know you could be sitting there having a conversation, you know, at Walmart with somebody, a buddy, and we're talking and we just joking around. Somebody's walking by, they hear the wrong thing, and like, hey, you know, what's going on? And then they get offended and something could turn into a big old deal, you know. It's frustrating, man. You know,
yeah, it is.
like somebody said, yeah, you know, we have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom of the consequence.
Right.
And that made a lot of sense to me. I go, you know what, that is so true. So it's like, yeah, say what you want, but there could be a consequence to that. It's like,
It's like somebody yelling fire. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's like you have the freedom to say it,
yeah.
but you know the consequences.
Yeah, you're going to cause a stampede of people running out the building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then somebody gets hurt. You know what I mean? And then, all right, who said fire?
Yeah.
You know, that guy. You know, all right, then.
That's why you pull the alarm.
Oh man, but yeah, you know, so definitely, you know, like I said, we need to use it more often.
Yeah.
And I think mainly because a lot of the people that we've had on, you know, they've been really really cool, and
Yeah.
you know, so you never know, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever take that down. exception for another one, you know, take it down, and we're like, no, bullshit, we're not taking that shit down. You know, it's going to stay up.
Yeah.
So.
I guess, and it puts you guys in a real tough spot because it's like, you know, you want to be cool and be like, yeah, okay, you know, but then it's like, well, what's wrong with it? What's the harm? Like, you know, we took time to, you know, do the editing and put it out there, and it's like it got some man hours in there. You know, there's some man time, you know, and it's like to take it down for whatever that I'm sure there's always, you know, you're always going to have a legitimate reason, but if it's not like that big a deal, then what's the problem? You know what I mean? You know, why not just keep it up? You know?
Yeah.
Man, he brought up a lot of like memories, like editing. Like before, we used the GoPro, but we had a different rig for the microphones, and then I had to go on an editing software and try to match up the two. I know now there's other softwares that will just automatically line up audio and video, audio and But back then it's like no, we had to use what we had, and man, that took hours. And then you had the problem with the GoPro. For some reason, it would break up the entire video. Like, let's say we recorded for half an hour, it would do like 15 minutes, stop, and go. So you had to put those together.
Yeah.
And then the audio, for some reason, would drop and come back up. So it's like it was off like 2-3 seconds. You're like, shit. So then you're trying to just, it was a lot. That's why I say this way is a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah. No, and like I said, you guys saved me a lot of time, man, by, you know, giving me that direction on which way to go, because I was so lost. Like, oh, man. For at one point in time, I was like, man, do I want to do this? You know what I mean? But I already had more than one foot in the door. I was like, you know what? I got to walk through this. You know, I'm already there.
Yeah.
You know, but how you guys like that Roadcaster? Nice,
Beautiful.
huh?
It's beautiful.
It's just, it's a definitely a game changer.
I bet.
It is. Yeah, you know, and then it has the, you know, all the different sounds, and you know, so it's really, really cool.
Wow. Yeah, I'll get there one day. You know, I'm happy right now with my little Zoom. You know,
that was actually pretty clean too.
Yeah, it's a clean set, and it was very simple to use. That's what I liked about it. You know, so when I sent you the pictures, like, hey, what do you think of this? You know, and then when you gave me the thumbs up, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get this because I think this is gonna work.
Right.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? What's going on? What's the next?
Just trying to line up interviews, man.
Yeah.
You're doing a comedy thing, no?
Oh yeah, the Chingo Bling in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So are you going to be DJing that
I'll
event?
be DJing that event. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Is he coming on? Are you guys going to try and get him on?
Well, we were originally, but Jedi has to DJ that day, so
A separate event.
yeah.
Well, you can still do it, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's just like I think that's it. Just comes down to scheduling a lot of the times, you know. Getting people on is come down to scheduling.
Always, bro. That's why I got real lucky with my last interview, because when I messaged him, you know, because, you know, he's up and coming and everything, and I know how it is with these guys. Once they get, like, you don't know if they're in a training camp, you don't know if they're in town, you know, you don't know. You know, yeah, I have them on social media, but if you don't see them posting too much, you don't really have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I messaged them, and I go, hey, bro, where you at? You know? And then, like, I think it was like 3 days later. Yeah. I was like, well, he must be busy, you know? Yeah. So 2-3 days later, he goes, I'm in the Imperial Valley. He goes, I'm here. He goes, I'll be here for about 2 weeks. And he goes, what's up? You know? So then I messaged him back. I go, hey, well, you know what? I don't know if you heard, I got a podcast now. I'd love to have you on. And if you can make the time, I'd really appreciate it. And, I think it was like maybe a day and a half later.
And he answered.
And he's like, oh yeah, bro. Yeah. No problem. When do you want to do it? You know? So I go, well, how about this Thursday? This was last week. And then, like, this time it got shorter. And it was like maybe like less than a day. He goes, you know what? Thursday won't work. He goes, how about Friday? I go, all right, you know. So I was like, yeah, let's do it Friday. I go, how's 7:30 sound? And right there and then he got back to me. He goes, yeah, sounds good. So little by little, he was he responded faster and faster.
Getting better.
Yeah. so I was still like, that's why I didn't even, once he told me, yeah, I was still like, you know what? I know how it is with these guys. These fighters, they're real busy. Something can happen. I'm not going to put it out till I'm like right there, like the day before, you know. So I put it out there that I was having him on, and he even liked it, you know. So I said, all right, he's on board, you know. He's like, all right, cool, you know. So then I messaged, hey, you know what, you know, my address, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, no problem. He goes, I'll see you. I'll be there around 7:30ish. You know, go, all right, cool. Take your time. Nice. No worries. So I was just like, yes, all right. You know, something else didn't come up, you know, because it does happen.
Yeah, it does, man. You know, yeah, it comes down to scheduling. For example.
Oh, shit. Are you going to say it?
No. Shots by Fabi.
Okay,
all right, Shots by Fabi.
Man.
He's a photographer, right?
Okay.
And he started off doing, you know, like, you know, the rappers that we've had on, like Melio, you know, doing photo shoots for all of them, right? Well, he did Andy Reese's photos. So now he's pretty much Canelo's photographer.
Wow.
Yeah, he's from here, from the Valley.
Yeah.
You know.
Good for him.
Yeah, so, you know, and then I hit him up. And
I'm still trying to get some pictures.
Right?
Don't forget the not so little people.
Right. The little big people.
Nah, but you know what? He's doing his thing. He's very talented.
So we hit him up, and he said, yeah, you know, get on the show. And it's been about a year. But, you know.
I love that, dude.
You know, it's just.
With everything going on. You know?
Everybody's busy, you know. Yeah. It's understandable, you know. But same thing. Another photographer, really, really good here in the Valley, Rudy Levas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rudy. You know, he's doing his thing from his merch to, you know, to his billboards.
Dude, those are like inspiring, man. Like he's doing it. Like I remember a long time ago, I did a wedding in San Diego, and I was setting up, and I see them taking pictures, and I was like, I think I've seen this guy somewhere. And like, you're talking about like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this guy. And yeah, it was him.
You know, and I think it's awesome how Rudy gives back to the community through his photography.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're a good example of that.
Yeah,
one, you know?
He did. He had free photo sessions for the grads. Man, we were the first ones. We were there probably like 2 hours prior. Just to wait.
He did it for free?
For free.
Wow.
Because I knew the line was going to be huge.
Good job.
Yeah. So I actually hit him up. I was like, what's up, bro? Just to let you know, we're already here. He's like, what? We're there like in 2 hours.
You know, and he does stuff for the community as far as like, one of them was fries with cheese, and I think it was like a large drink from Johnny's, and it was Rudy Leva special. So he'd promote it and say, hey, you know, ask for the Rudy Leva special. And, you know, by 9 o'clock in the morning, like he'd buy so much, I guess. That's how he did it.
I remember he did what is it, sprinkles? The
Sprinkles donuts also, like, you know, and it's awesome way to give back to the community because, you know, like I said, he, you know where you come from, you know, and it's just, and I think it's just awesome that, you know, for the things that he does, you know, it's
and those little things go such a long way, man.
They do
such a long way. One of the things that I told Rafa, I was like, you know what, you're on your way, and one thing that I do ask is like, you know, I don't know if I said it on the podcast or afterwards we're talking. I go, don't lose this that you got right now. Like you like right now, you made the time for me, you know, to come to my house to do this. You didn't have to do that. I go, don't forget that. Don't lose that, you know, because it does happen, you know. Stay grounded. Remember where you're from. You know, somebody comes up to you, wants to say hi, just say hi. Even a wave, man, that goes such a long way. But if you shine them, that goes a long way too. You know, I go, stay grounded. Remember where you're from, you know. But again, on the flip side of that, be careful.
Yes.
I go,
definitely.
I go, be careful, because you'll have cousins coming out of the woodwork that you didn't even know you had, you know. So at the same time, you have to be very careful, you know. But I showed my gratitude that he was able to, you know, come out and make the time for me. And I got him at the right window. You know, he was going to be, you know, here for only 2 weeks. I think he takes off this week, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he's going back to Colorado, you know, go continue his training over there. And it's funny because I went to Mexicali, you know, before coming here. And I was in the line, and I was looking over. I was with my wife, and we went to go gas up. And I look looked over at her and I go, who's this guy? And I just kept, and then I looked over again and he was like this. And I kept looking. I was looking at the car. I'm like, hey, babe. I go, that's Rafa right there. And she's like, really? She looked over. Oh, yeah, that is him. Because it was in the same SUV that he came over to the house in, and I think he had his father-in-law driving. I was like, well, check him out, just a regular guy, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, good for him. I hope this kid blows up, man. He's doing very well in the UFC right now. He got a 5-fight deal, extended contract, Yeah, nice. Bro. Yeah. So, man, the story that he said on the podcast, I was touched. Like, damn, dude, you don't find dudes like you no more. You know what I mean? Keep it up, Rafa. You're gonna, stay pure like that. And I got all the faith in the world that this kid's gonna continue to be successful.
Yeah, and it's good to get him on at the right time.
Yeah.
For example, like when we had J-Rocks.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, and then
twice, right?
Twice. And we're gonna get her on the third time. I already talked to Freddie, and
good.
But just, man, her tour is crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's just like putting in the work, and that's what it's about, man. And just
honestly, that one feels really, really good. It's like we do feel like her deals that are just we see her up there. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah, she's doing it.
Yeah, because she was so timid and shy when she came on our show the very first time, and and then I think Freddie hit you up, huh? It was like, hey, we want to get J-Rocks back in the show with MC Magic.
Yeah.
And he hits me, hey, dude, J-Rocks and MC Magic. I was like, what?
I was scared because originally it was just going to be recorded.
Yeah.
And then Magic's like, bro, let's go live. I was like, because I got nervous, and then a lot of people know where I live too. So I just don't want problems. I don't want people coming over here.
Yeah.
And after when we actually, I think it's one of our videos that has the most views.
It went well though.
On YouTube, but it went crazy on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's almost like 10, 15,000 views.
Yeah.
So. And
Facebook doesn't do nothing for you on that, huh?
No.
I don't know how that works.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless maybe if you had like if it was like a fan page or something or business account, you think?
Because it's on the Triple Scoop business page. But,
okay.
But yeah, nothing. It's just I think it's just YouTube where it gets monetized and so.
That's good. I hope she does continue to do what she's doing and blow up, man.
Yeah.
Because I love to hear those. See, stories like that is what I like. To hear those success stories. How they're starting out, especially from a small, community like the Imperial Valley. Because I'd say that there's so much talent, and when I say talent, I don't mean just like in sports.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, look, she's a singer. You know what I mean? And she's doing her thing like that, and she's, we'll see. Maybe we'll see her one day and receiving a Grammy.
Yeah,
never know. Right?
And speaking of Grammys, there's actually somebody from Brawley that's behind the scenes. He went to audio engineering school, and he was nominated for a Grammy. Really? So we were just talking to his brother at Chano's video shoot. And same thing. We want to get him on the show. Just like I said, just comes down to timing.
The timing.
That's the main thing. But yeah, definitely. There's definitely talent in this valley.
Yep.
And and I think that was originally our main reason to do this show, to give a platform to to this talent in the valley that 'cause there is a lot of hidden gems.
Yeah.
Out here.
I feel you, bro. Yeah,
there is. So
and we got to get them out there, or at least help.
Yeah.
Help, whatever we can do. If we got a platform like this, let them speak and just let people put the voice and the face together.
I have a crazy question for you.
Yeah.
If you don't want to answer it, that's fine. Yeah. But it's been bothering me. Like, it's just because one of those things is like,
how do I get my goatee like this?
No, man. It has to do with refereeing, man. Because I've seen some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like the UFC. Would you referee or be able to referee like a transgender? Let's say it's women's.
I got no problem refereeing a bout like that. But a bout like that would have to still get past the commission to get sanctioned.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, I do have certain feelings about that. Not because, like, if somebody wants to be transgender, hey, that's cool.
Right.
That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what? We're all humans. You know, we all have, you know, red blood, and we all have feelings. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that I find, like, it's that a woman, say if it, you know, finding which is genetically a male, that's where this fighter has a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Because, you know, bone density is a factor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Natural strength is also a factor. You know, as far as the power, that's a factor. It's not a level playing field, in my opinion.
Estrogen to testosterone.
Well, you know, all that's regulated. Like, you know, it's supposed to be regulated, but you know, I just don't think it's a fair fight. Even though there is some girls out there that will whoop a dude's ass for sure.
Oh yeah,
you know,
definitely
for sure. But like, I don't feel that it's a level playing field, in my opinion. You know, I think, like, if it was a league like specific for that, then cool. You know what I mean? That's like me. Like, as almost a 50-year-old man, do I got any business going in there and fighting somebody, another guy that's half my age? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Probably not.
Right.
You know? Now, if you put me in a bracket from 45 to 55, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Now you're talking about a level playing field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, you know, that's how I look at it. You know, but as far as refereeing the match, I wouldn't have an issue with it. You know, I mean, I'd have to be more on my toes for sure, only because, like, if one fighter gets rocked, you know, a lot easier than the other, I really have to watch that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and it has happened. Like, there is transgender fighters out there, you know, and one in particular, I can't remember the name, but was a man, now became a female, and I know that she has lost to another female, you know, and, like, you know, I think she even got knocked out by another female, you know. So I mean, I don't know, you know, but yeah, no. To answer the question, no, I wouldn't have an issue doing it. But it, like I said, it still has to get past that commission. Yeah, you know, and there is protocols that are in place that have to pass, you know, a physical and all that, and that, you know, I guess where I could say where I would have an issue if that wasn't disclosed. Like, if somebody went in there and didn't disclose, like, hey, you know what, you know, I'm a female now, but I was a male, and you didn't disclose it at the time,
right?
That I would have an issue with, you know. But if, you know, it's out there, then it's fine. Go ahead, you know. I'm not the one that's going to take the punches, and I'm not the one that's doing the punching, you know. But, yeah, no, I would still do it.
Cool.
It wasn't a bad question. It was a good question.
No,
I hope I answered it.
No, right.
Yeah, I hope I answered it all right.
No, I like it because it wasn't like a political answer. It wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
It was just genuine.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we're, you know, I try to love everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? I try to get along with everybody, you know, no matter what.
You guys need to hire this guy.
Yeah, man. So I just want to say, man, you know, I wish you the best with their podcast, man. You know, and
thank you, brother.
I just, you know, hope it keeps going and going and going and growing and growing and growing.
Easy D.
Yeah. And you guys as well, man. I mean, I love you guys' stuff, you know, and I ask them all the time, hey, what's next? What's next? You know, because I want to tune in, you know what I mean? I'm always bugging them, like, hey, what's up? You know,
I don't even know what I'm eating later.
I mean, we like I said, we try to keep it on a weekly, but it is hard.
It's hard, man.
You know,
it's hard, but you know what? Like, stuff like this, if we just get together and just, you know, do a recap of our week, like, say, you know what, we got nothing going on, we don't have a guest, let's get together, you know, and we'll just shoot the shit, have a beer, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, and who knows what comes out of the conversation, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, for instance, you know, all right, so I'm going to try to maintain right here. Before the podcast, like this past week, see, I'm already feeling it. um, we always want our best for our kids, especially our sons, right?
Of course.
And my older son, when he first left the house, it was rough for me. You know what I mean? And my wife, she raised him since he was 7 years old and stuff. He's been with us. I had to go to court, get full custody of him and everything, watch him grow up and everything. And when he made that leap to start like showing me that eventually he's leaving the house, like when he first went to a corrections academy in Arizona, he doesn't do it anymore. But when he went, that was rough on me. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you know what, my son is taking those next steps, to his own responsibilities, right? Mm-hmm. And so then it was that, and then when he moved to San Diego, that was another one where I was kind of, took it a little hard because I knew, all right, now he's moving out of the house, right? So, as a father, it I was happy for him, but at the same time, like, you have to let go, right? Right? You got to let go. Yeah, and you know what I'm probably talking about right now. Yes, because you just had.
Is that allowed out of this room still?
Okay. so then.
No, but I know what you mean.
So next man up, my son Joey. I mean, he's I mean, let's just say he has a talent. He's an athlete. He's pretty good. He's pretty good, and he took last year off from going to school because of the whole COVID situation, and then he wanted to work and save up money for school and stuff because he didn't know yet what he was going to do. Is he going to go to college, go play football, or is he going to stay here?
Right.
So he took the year off. He stood busy, with football, here locally, and then he, it was still up in the air, like whether or not he was going to decide to go to school. So just, within the last month, he finally said, like, hey, Dad, I'm going to go. You know what I'm saying? And so he finally got in contact, with the coach and everything and got everything situated, what he needed to do. And he leaves tomorrow. This was just last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So today before the podcast, and it was a little rough, because my wife, I posted something on Facebook and my wife, she was doing homework because she's doing some online classes. And I was on my phone and she's like, I heard her say, I shouldn't have read that. I was like, oh, man. I turn around, she's bawling, you know what I mean? And then so I was like, I go, hey, you know what? I gave her a hug. Hey, I'll cry with you later. But then, that turned into something, you know what I mean? So it was like, oh, man. I go, you know what? I got to go. I got to get going, Otherwise, if I stay here, I'm never going to get out of here, So, sometimes, it's hard, man. We gotta start loosening that grip, on our kids, and this is my second one. And even though I've already been through it, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get no easier, man, and I hope he does well. Like I said, he takes off tomorrow. He's going to go play at Mount San Jacinto College, up in San Jacinto.
Right.
Luckily, what kind of helps the situation that he's going to go live with my older son, with his older brother. He's going to stay. Okay. He's going to stay with him. Nice. So he has somebody to look out for him. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what makes things a little better. Right. But it still doesn't make it any easier.
It's not that far of a drive either.
No, it's not. It's not, and he's still going to be coming down, on the weekends and stuff, and hopefully we're able to make, most of his games because my two younger ones, they play as well,
Right.
And hopefully he does well. I think he will. You know what I mean? But I told him, like, you know what, yeah, you were an outlier right here. But you're going to go over there, over the hill, and you're going to have, probably 52 guys that are going to be like you, that are going to be good. So let's see it. This is a good opportunity for you to test yourself at the next level. You know what I mean? So now you're going to go up there with a bunch of killers, and you know what? Don't be intimidated. Go over there and do your thing, have fun, and just remember that every day you're fighting for that first spot.
Right.
And so we'll see what happens, but on my way here, I was thinking about that. I go, should I talk about this?
Of course, man.
But then I was remembering you know, you just had your son graduate and stuff, and I'm sure he probably got plans and.
No, I'm just kidding.
You know, I mean, you know.
Damn, man, I'm gonna get my feels.
Yeah, you know, it's rough, man, because you start getting hit with the reality, like, hey, you know what, you're running out of time, and you know he's gonna be going.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's rough, man. It's, you know, I'm happy for him. I'm nervous for him. I'm scared for him. But at the same time, you know, I know it's going to be good for him at the same time to go out there and experience that. And luckily, he has a couple friends that play up there as well. That helps us, you know, also.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? But we'll see, man. We'll see.
He's in good hands, man.
He is. You know, and his brother is very responsible, you know, and my wife, you know, she brought him up really well and everything. So that's a big plus, you know. Shout out to her. You know, to my wife for helping me raise them, right. You know, because I know it wasn't easy. You know, and so we'll see what happens, man. And I try to have him on the podcast just to talk. He's so camera shy, bro.
Oh my God.
He hates taking pictures. I feel lucky that every time I could get him in a picture. Because he will not take pictures.
Same.
When he was playing football, you know, they wanted to interview him. He'd rush to the locker room, put his helmet on, take off, and they'd be looking for him. Hey, where's Joey at? And you know,
doesn't do interviews.
Yeah, he doesn't do it because he just doesn't like being in front of the camera. You
right.
know, so much less in front of a microphone. You know what I mean? You know, because having a mic in your face, that's
different.
It's different, bro.
Yeah,
it's different. The first time I was like, oh, damn, you know, like when we did it right here, when we were testing your guys' equipment, when you guys upgraded, I was like, holy smoke, you know? So then when I got my own stuff and we did it, I was like, I told my family, goes, feels weird, huh? They're like, yeah, this isn't normal, you know? They're like, yeah, how come I could hear myself? I could hear you. And he's like, do we have to use these? You know, I go, let's just use them. I already paid for them. We're going to use them. You know, so little by little, you start getting used to that. You know what I mean? You know, right. So I guess, you know, to all the dads out there, I know it's hard. And then it's funny that it just happens right after Father's Day. Right after Father's Day, that my advice to dads out there, we have to loosen that grip on our kids. You know what I mean? We have to.
But we're still dads, so.
Yeah. We're still dads. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell them. I go, no matter how old you guys are, man, I go, I'm always going to be your dad. And I'm always going to expect a hug and a kiss. And every now and then I might still get you and put you on my lap. Just so you remember, you know, hey, your dad is still here. Yeah. You know, I've done that to my boys. I've done that. I sit them on my lap. You know, get your ass over here, you know. And I go, just remember who your dad is. Don't forget, right. You know. But, yeah, that's my Father's Day tip.
Cool, man.
Yeah, so I can't wait to do another one, man. Let me know when you guys have some downtime. We'll do it again.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know? Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Danny, thank you for coming on.
Salud, my brothers.
Triple Scoop ENT podcast YouTube show. So
shout out to EazyD Podcast. Dude, I don't even remember my social media. I know I got my EazyD Pod on Facebook. I got it my Instagram. I believe it's also EazyD Pod or EazyD Podcast. You could check that out also on Instagram. You know, and again, thank you, my brothers, for having me on.
One more thing, you gotta get yourself on definitely on Anchor.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Definitely set that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have any questions, I gotta help you out with that.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, definitely gonna need help with the, you know, when I transition to the next camera setups, you know, with the phones, because I really like how it comes out. I think I don't know. It seems like it still comes out a little cleaner.
A little bit.
Right? Yeah. The camera phones are awesome nowadays, man. You know, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, so, all right, man. Make sure to check out the EazyD podcast.
Yes.
On YouTube.
Yep.
Follow him on Instagram and Facebook also.
Yep.
EazyD podcast. We're Triple Scoop ENT. I'm your boy DJ J Steezy.
What? You're a who? We were just talking about bloopers, right? Oh man.
Keep it in.
Got you.
You did it on purpose.
I'm leaving that shit.
I'm your boy DJ J Steezy.
DJ Jedi. Later, guys.